Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match review of Sampdoria against AC Milan, match I finished moments ago at the Stadio Luigi Ferraris in Genoa. Milan came out victorious in this one goal to nil. Goal scored by Carlos Bacca in the dying moments of this match after he was on the bench, actually. He didn't start this match, and he came on for Lapadula at the 64th minute. So not a long game for Bacca. However, during his performance of about 26 minutes, he actually did very well. He had a very positive performance, I have to say. He did create the chances that Milan weren't able to create throughout the match. He got unlucky by hitting the post on one occasion where actually Viviano saved it and directed it to the post. And overall, he had some good chances. He seemed more clinical than what Lapadula was. Lapadula actually had some decent chances himself, especially in that first half where he should have made it 1-0 with that chance that he had. But other than that, he was trying to get adapted to the game more than making a clinical performance for this team, putting on a show for the team. And Bacca instead just came on and he got the job done right away. As soon as he came on, started creating the chances, got the ball served to him. And once the ball is served to him, we all know what he's capable of. He's able to put the ball in the back of the net. That is exactly what happened here at the Stadio Luigi Ferraris today. Nice assist by Suso. Was actually the whole play was actually a mistake from the Sampdoria player. I forgot his name, but other than that, it was a beautiful finish by Bacca, who came on and was clinical. Now let's speak about the performance. Of course, I'm very happy that we picked up these 3 points. Very much needed 3 points after the loss against Napoli and Udinese last week. So I'm happy that we did pick up the win. But once again, the team performance in general was not the best. As a matter of fact, I was actually quite pissed once again. It's the usual sloppy playing from Milan, not getting you anywhere. That is the type of performance that we once again saw today. Nothing too crazy to celebrate about, to be honest. And as a matter of fact, this almost doesn't feel as a win because, yes, we did pick up the goal. We won the game, but I kind of feel like at certain moments we shouldn't be celebrating too much because we really didn't deserve this game, in my opinion. I mean, we did have chances, and thankfully, at the end of the day, we got the ball in the back of the net through Bacca, but other than that, Sampdoria had so many chances themselves. They hit the post themselves with Muriel. Donnarumma was forced in making a lot of saves once again, which, by the way, he earned his first clean sheet of the season. So very happy about that. But other than that, once again, it's the same sloppy playing, inexistent midfield, inexistence of ideas and chances created from this team. And it's the usual Milan team that you would normally see on a weekly basis. A team that has really no flair in their game. The first half especially, just so sloppy from both teams. Players were always slipping. But, at the end of the day, it's the result that counts. I guess we could kind of refer to the match against Udinese for that matter, where we actually dominated. And at the end of the day, Udinese got that goal in which won them the game. Maybe you could say the same thing in this one. I think Sampdoria played a very good game, especially in that first half, where I think they deserved a goal at least today. But Milan came out, they got that goal out of nothing, and at the end of the day, we're the ones walking away with the 3 points this time. So once again, very happy to see that. Very happy that we got the result because it was very much needed, especially like I mentioned in the preview, considering the fact that we will be playing very tough opposition in the next coming weeks, such as Lazio, Sassuolo, Fiorentina, Juventus. So it's definitely going to be all very tough matches, and we need to pick up wins at all costs. In whichever way we could at this moment. I really don't care how we get them. What is important is that we do get them. We do come out with the 3 points. And that is exactly what happened once again against Sampdoria today. Now, speaking about the players, I think that certain players are still obviously trying to adapt to the team or not doing as well that they should be doing. And I'm speaking specifically about certain players in the midfield. Bonaventura is once again not convincing me this season. For some reason, he's not the same type of player that we have been seeing last season. Now, I understand he's playing in the mid. This is probably not his most famous position to be playing in, but I have to say that, you know, I'm expecting more from Bonaventura. I think he could do better. He should do better. But seriously, I don't know. I hope that he picks up his game sooner rather than later, because I know what he's capable of. And once again, I think that he could do very well for this team if he puts his head into the game once again. Niang, he had his moments once again. Nothing too crazy about him. Certain times he was trying to do a lot by himself, but he wasn't able to concretize those chances. Suso, very nice assist for Bacca. Once again, one of the focal points of this team. And once again, the midfield, Montolivo there making many mistakes, but enough speaking about him. I think we all know what he does on a weekly basis. I don't even have to mention it. Now, speaking about the defense, to me, actually, one player stood out today in that defense, and that player has to be Gabriel Paletta. Gabriel Paletta, you know, a lot of stick was given to him at the beginning of the season, saying that he's not the type of player that should be partnered with Romagnoli. He's not decent. He has very bad games. But up until now, you know, I think he has proved us wrong. Against Udinese, he was brought in for experience, and he did well. Unlucky that we lost that match, but I think in the performances that Gabriel Paletta played so far, he did very good. Today, he was a solid player, beast mode really for Paletta. And once again, maybe it just might be that Romagnoli needs that type of experience next to him. Paletta showed very good signs of what he's capable of. Hopefully, he will be continuing on this form. I don't see him being replaced by Gustavo Gomez anytime soon, especially if he continues to play in this fashion. But, you know, it's a very good compliment to Romagnoli to have Paletta there in the defense. Now, speaking about the fullbacks, once again, not impressed by Abate, nothing crazy there. Romagnoli had a decent game, but not as much as Paletta. Now, speaking about Calabria, you know, many people were saying throughout the match that he wasn't playing in this position. Usually he plays as a right back, but today he was taking Antonelli's spot. As you may know, Antonelli, he was part of a very bad clash last week there against Udinese, so he will be out for a while. Maybe he might return even next week, but pretty much with no De Sciglio there or Antonelli, Calabria was kind of forced to start in this match in that position. So I think that he had a decent game, Calabria. I could definitely see his grit, especially in that first half. Then the second half, he had his moments. You know, he kind of went down. He had some injury concerns at certain points of that second half. And I think his game kind of went down a little bit in that second half. But his intentions are good. I think he's capable of doing good things. But other than that, I think it's going to take consistency for Calabria to actually prove that he's worthy of getting a starting spot at Milan. Personally, I do believe that he's capable of getting that starting position, and he should be playing as a right back once Antonelli comes back, or even De Sciglio for that matter. Abate hasn't been doing good once again since the beginning of the season, and I think that soon maybe Calabria could be taking his place. Abate needs to step up as well. As I said, he's not been doing good whatsoever. Now, Donnarumma, of course, as I said before, many saves. Once again, possibly one of the better players in this Milan side today, alongside Paletta. If I have to name three players that really stood out for me, it has to be Paletta, Donnarumma, and Bacca for how he came in and actually gave Milan that very important goal. But we all know that Donnarumma is capable of doing great things, and I think that for all his great work that he did so far this season, he does deserve this clean sheet 100%. Now, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I will be answering your questions and so forth regarding this match, your comments and so forth. So let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about the match. What you guys think about certain players' performances. Were they good enough? Were they up to your expectations for certain players? So let me know all of that in the comment section. I'll be taking care of your questions and comments for the next 5 to 10 minutes. Do you think we should sign Darmian? Darmian was one of our players actually back in the days. Darmian, obviously he's a very solid player. I would love to have him at Milan. Maybe it could be a possibility coming back. I don't know if he's really going to be coming back anytime soon, but maybe for the future, it's important to see him maybe coming back. I would definitely take him. Do I think we deserve the win? Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do not think that we deserve this win. As a matter of fact, Sampdoria had many chances in which it should have finished. Once again, Donnarumma coming out big, but I don't think we deserve it. I think, like Udinese did against us last week, this is somewhat the case of what happened with Milan today. And also, not to forget, just a few moments before Bacca's goal, Muriel had actually scored, but his goal was ruled off due to him touching the ball with his hand. So, we all know that football is a game of moments. One moment it could go your way, one moment it cannot. And in this game, finally, we got a break, and we were able to net the winner. What do I think about the transfer rumors with Fabregas? Heard about that. These were rumors that already we kind of spoke about on the last day of the transfer window in the summer. But at that point, nothing was fundamental. I mean, nothing was really believable at that point. So I think maybe he could be a name that Milan could look at, but I don't think he will be coming anytime soon as well. I don't think that Milan will be going after him in January. Do I think Montolivo will be dropped? It's the same thing I say every week. Of course, nothing new there. What do I think about the penalty situations? That's actually a very good question by you, Monarch. In certain instances of the game, there were some 50-50 calls that the referee decided not to award to Milan. I believe that we could have at least got one penalty shot in this game. Now, I'm thinking more towards the Bonaventura challenge. I'm not quite sure if that was outside the box or inside the box. It was very border, but I do believe that we deserved at least one penalty shot. At the end of the day, I think we got justice. We got the goal. So I don't think that I would have been really complaining about the referee decisions at the end of the game if we didn't end up winning. But it's certainly something to look at when considering this match. And yes, the ref made some very bad calls, I have to admit. The only good thing that I saw from the midfield was Sosa's passing and playing as a regista, where he covered Montolivo's position in the 42nd minute, and Sosa linking up with Suso as to continue. I fully agree with that. I think that Sosa is having some positive games. Last week, against Udinese, he hit that crossbar. I think he's kind of building from time to time, and I think he could become a very important player for this Milan team. Once again, the regista needs to change. Montolivo needs to leave. Locatelli coming on to replace Jose Sosa was a substitution that I was really questioning myself. How is it possible that he didn't replace Montolivo for that instance, or at least slot Jose Sosa in the middle and put Locatelli on the side? So I honestly don't understand why that didn't happen, or Montella didn't think about doing that whatsoever. Do I think it was a mistake benching Bacca? Now, this is something that I read just before the game started. Apparently, there was a confrontation between Bacca and Montella a few days ago, and that is the reason why Lapadula actually got the start from Montella today. I think Bacca once again gave a clear message to Montella that he deserves to start. Coming on and scoring a goal as a substitute is probably one of the better feelings that you could have, as you're trying to prove to the coach that you're actually capable of coming on and getting the goal, getting what you're coming on for. So this is very important to look at. I think that Bacca could once again continue to get a starting position. Once again, it's not very common that we see Bacca starting from the bench. I think Montella wanted to give Lapadula a chance to show what he's worth today, and he got his chance. He didn't have a bad game. I think he had a decent game, but at the end of the day, it's the goals that matter. And Lapadula had his chances. He could have easily scored a goal in that first half. Bacca came on, he scored his chance, and most likely we will be seeing him on Tuesday starting against Lazio. Do I think Kuczka will take Montolivo's starting position and Sosa will play as a regista? That's a possibility. I don't see why not. Jose Sosa playing in the middle, Kuczka on the right, and Bonaventura on the left. I think that's very possible, and that could be a very good solution, actually, if Milan decide to go that way. I think Lapadula was really good today. The only problem was that in the second half, the center back of Sampdoria started to close him down well. That is actually a very good observation from you, Emilio. I believe that is also true. As a matter of fact, Milan just it seems like in the second half they really the opponents really close Milan down all the time. You have seen this against Udinese last week, and Sampdoria tried to do the same thing again today with Milan, staying very tight with those forwards, not giving them enough space to breathe. And that is exactly what happened with Lapadula. But at the same time, you're kind of expecting that not to happen for Lapadula, because personally, I believe that he's a more mobile player than Bacca. He moves a lot more than Bacca, in my opinion. And that is something that I was kind of surprised about, as the center backs were closing him down well, but he was able to move at the same time. So we'll see what happens with Lapadula. I don't think he will be getting a start anytime soon again, but I think he will definitely be considered by Montella for the next games. What about the new owners? What about them, Jim? Let me know what you actually mean by that. Locatelli's performance, I can't say he did a very good job, SHN. I think that he had a decent time when he came on. I can't really say that he had a positive match. He actually risked at one point, I believe, where he took down a Sampdoria player in that penalty box. Yeah, he kind of risked, but he had a decent game overall. AC Milan Kit 10, do you think we could finish top 3? I don't believe we will. I think, once again, a 5th to 6th place is a realistic finish for Milan this season. Are we going to see Onda and Zapata again? Zapata's injured. Onda apparently has been shown interest from MLS clubs, so there's a possibility that he could be going to the MLS maybe as soon as January comes. Marin Lulucic, one question, please. Do we miss Mario Balotelli? No, I don't think so, no. I mean, Bacca scored 4 goals in 4 games. I don't think Milan is really missing him at this moment. Jim, who will buy Milan? The Chinese businessman? Of course, Jim. We all know that by now. The Chinese obviously will be closing up the deal in by the end of November, I believe. Maybe sooner. Who knows? But yes, the Chinese will be buying Milan. Just a few more questions before I sign off. Gio, do you think that Montella should try a different formation since we have been struggling to control games with the current 4-3-3? That is a very good question. I do believe we should. Now, we could play with trequartista 4-3-1-2. Maybe that could help a bit control the midfield. But there could be other possibilities altogether. I think that Montella needs to change modules from time to time. The 4-3-3 is is a module that Montella likes to stick with, but so far hasn't really produced certain great results for Milan. Hopefully, the results will be coming in sooner rather than later with this formation. But for the time being, I think that Montella should be changing his modules from time to time. Do I think Thiago Silva is coming back to Milan? I definitely like the rumors and reports are currently going on regarding Thiago Silva. But at this very moment, I think we should just relax and calm down. There's still 3-4 months until January. So I think we should just all take a breather from the transfer window that just finished about 2 weeks ago and focus on the games rather than anything else. All right, guys, that will wrap it up for this live stream. Once again, thank you all for joining me on this live stream. AC Milan defeated Sampdoria 1-0 thanks to a goal coming in from Carlos Bacca. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. We are also very close to reaching 10,000 subscribers. We are actually under 100 away. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Tell your family, tell your friends to do so as well. And I'll catch you guys later for another video. This has been Gio signing off. And as always, Forza Milan.